All right, we are live, and it is about 1:30. We're going to call this meeting to order and welcome all members for MLCC that are viewing us by this live stream this afternoon. And I would like to start out by us standing for the pledge, please. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so it started up and then it stopped because we ended it. So now, what we got here? Out of here. So it isn't right directly on the page. So on the very top of the Facebook page, this is Mission Lakes Country Club residents. So you got to click on Mission Lakes Country Club on the very top of the page, and there we are.
There's also a notification too if you're a Facebook user that we are live, so people will see that as well.
Okay.
Well, how can I tell people if they're not?
I know, if they're not live, we'll be able to get through to them.
No, we're live, but how do I tell people to go to that link?
No, we can't.
Can we send out a blast real quick to?
Sure, I have Sandy send an blast out right now that we're live on Facebook. Let's go to the Facebook page.
No, it's not just the Facebook page. You have to click on the top link on the page. It says Mission Lakes Residents. Okay, so let me show you. In fact, if I can send
I'll have her send this out.
No. Let me send her a picture of where people should click.
Okay.
Okay. So.
She's right here.
Okay.
We're gonna send you you can send out an e-blast. She'll send you a picture that way people can see it.
Okay, you're sending e-blast?
Yeah, screenshot.
Yeah.
Hold on. Get there. Sandy, where do I send it to?
S. Ellsworth
Okay.
at Mission Lakes Country Club. So just push as an e-blast out too, okay?
Okay.
Of the screenshot.
Okay, we're just having some technical difficulties that we're working through, and we're going to get this thing going. So,
They can't hear you. So.
But we're being taped for later.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Well, Melissa said she could see us.
really?
Said, oh, now she can't.
What? She can't see us now?
No.
Because she hasn't clicked that link.
Top right hand side?
Nope. Right at the very top, it says Mission Lakes Country Club. Under that, it says residents.
Yeah, the camera's live, so
It's working for me.
Yeah, Meg says she can hear us.
if it's working on Rex, we'll base that everything's working.
Now,
Yeah, we're live.
so I gotta send it to.
All right, given that we've gotten some responses from members that they can see us on the feed, so we're going to move forward, try to work through a couple of these technical difficulties. Going to Trish, please, for the approval of board meeting minutes.
Yes.
I got it.
I move that we approve the MLCC board meeting minutes February the 29th, the executive meeting minutes February 4th, February 12th, February 20th, February 25th, and February 29th.
We have a second, please. Ray seconds. Any discussion on these minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, Trish. Thank you. On to announcements.
I just took these off some of the e-blasts that have gone out. The bar area, dining room are closed. Sandwich open for pizza takeout, available from 11 o'clock. Pizza delivery will be available Thursday through Saturday, 5 to 8. Delivery and takeout food service available Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 through 8 from the dining room. And happy hours are canceled until further notice. And I would advise everybody to look at the e-blast and Constant Contact, the Facebook page, to find out what's going on at Mission Lakes.
Okay, thank you very much, Trish. And for those of you that have maybe had a slight glitch in when you call up for an order and the phone line is busy, Brian will be talking about that a little later in his management presentation, but we've got that problem worked out. So, Trish, on the member comments, and I think you said there were 2 that were sent in.
2.
And I've distributed 1 to Ray for comment and 1 to Rick. So, Ray, if you would please respond to that first comment we got.
Okay. The first comment we got is from Andy. The only benefit goes to those who participate in team play, and when they get to play other courses for a $20 cart fee. Financial issues, either wash, either team play will impact outside play if moved to the afternoon or so on. Another inconvenience, typical slow play of team play, and the women's team have an option of moving their competition to Tuesday, kind of just to go through some of his concerns about team play. Now, he made this a request to the board, and he didn't see anything on the agenda, and the reason he didn't is that we have a new PGA professional down there right now. And I think the board, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody here, feels that it's probably more appropriate for the PGA professional to meet with the men's club president, because this looks like it would be a men's club problem, not a women's club problem, and to see if they can, come to some sort of solution on some of these problems. There are some problems and difficulties with that, but team play is also, a nice little way to show our course off. A lot of golfers in the valley get to see our course that way. So let those guys get a chance when everything settles down here to settle it for next November, December when it starts up again. So that's it.
Okay, is there any other comments? I know, Tom, you've been involved in it some, but I think you're pretty much in agreement with Ray.
Yeah, I'm good with what Ray said.
Okay, very good. We had a second question from Mr. McKinnon, and I think, Rick, you have that one.
Yes, I do. Yes, indeed I do. This is from Chuck McKinnon, and his comment was, his question, is the limitation of members' questions to agenda items only a standard practice, or one designed to limit transparency in its dealing with MLCC members? So first of all, Chuck, thank you for your question, and secondly, shame on you for that comment. Basically, Robert's Rules of Order say that all questions during our meetings should be based on anything that's on the agenda. If anybody from the board should stray from the agenda, the folks on in the audience have the right to question that. In these extraordinary circumstances, we are doing our absolute level best to perform our business and do our duties as board members the very best we can. That includes allowing folks to submit their questions for items on the agenda. We're not here to have a discussion about who is and is not getting an opportunity to ask questions that are not on the agenda. So, that being said, there we go.
Okay, Rick, thank you. And I know your comment, shame on you, Mr. McKinnon, was meant in good faith. Okay, down to committee action and reports, Architectural Control Committee, Mr. Stocker, what do we have going for us today?
The ACC had no report to submit, but they did want to remind all the members that it is springtime. We did have some rain, so they are going to be looking at the weeds. Try to do your best to keep your yards clean. That's about it.
Okay, very good. There is no condominium report. I know we had elections down there, I guess, yesterday, and I do not believe, Brian, that we have any results in on that yet.
No, Matt has not sent me anything.
Okay, thank you. Declarations.
Just on the ACC issue, this is something I think that we should discuss with everybody, dealing with many different issues, including some people being laid off, some people having, issues as far as their income, and other folks dealing with remaining inside. I would suggest that the ACC have a 90-day moratorium on fines and or warnings or whatnot for cleaning up weeds. We all have weeds that we're dealing with as a result of all the rains. So that's just my suggestion.
All right, thank you. Tom, go ahead. I think there was a memo from Paul.
I've been in correspondence with the committee chair. He is aware of that. They are going to try to conduct their meeting somewhat with emails, and that I know that is a concern, so the committee will be talking about that.
Thank you, gentlemen. Declarations Committee, we had no reports. That brings us down to Finance. Mr. Doyle?
Yeah, the first thing I'd like to start with is that, let everybody know we've recently completed our year-end audit that we do every year with our outside auditors. And that process has been done. There were no irregularities noted. And we've got the final package that will be sent out to all the members, should be available to us within the next few weeks. One of the things that we've done in the past, and I plan on reinstituting it this year, was at the completion of our outside audit, hold a town hall meeting for open to all members to review the year's performance for the past year, the budgets, and any questions that people typically seem to have about our financial operations here. Due to the conditions we're operating under now, without any meetings or anything, we won't be able to do that, until all of this stuff clears up. And at that point in the future, we'll schedule that meeting and give all the members a chance to look at it. One of the things that was prepared for today's meeting was kind of a brief recap that I wanted to touch on with some of the stuff that is going on with the club right now, get the information out to the members right away, because there's a lot of chatter going on a lot of the sites that really isn't accurate, and we wanted to try and address some of that today. There's a package that would have been available for handout to all the members attending, and it'll be posted on our website and all the club communication pages in the next day or two, so that anybody can go back and look at all the information that I was going to touch on very quickly. First item that I put in the page on was on our dues, where there's been a lot of stuff going out about how our dues are going up 20% a year, and we've got all of these wild board members wanting to spend money like crazy. I put together a history of our dues for the last 20 years, and shows the average increase per year, and typically it's been 3 and 3.5%. There's been a number of years where it was 0. There's a number of years that it was very low, and only in a few instances has it been over 10%, and those were 15 years ago when the club was struggling financially. There was no change in the CC&R language regarding that 20% increase, and I put a copy of that in both of them, so there was no change on that. So there is no change in what's going on in the future. Our dues should remain consistent based on what we know what's going on in the world right now. I put a second page in, again, talking about our dues that compares the dues increases at Mission Lakes Country Club compared to the CPI index over the last 14, 15 years. And it tracks very closely. And that would again illustrate that the boards that have been sitting at Mission Lakes Country Club have done a very good job of controlling the cost and operating the club, and keeping in mind that we're doing everything we can to make it a nice place and provide a great experience for our members. But that chart with the CPI and our dues increases, I think, illustrates the good job that the club has done protecting the members. Everybody seems to forget the board is also members, and we pay the same dues that everyone else does. So, I'd like to see the dues stay as low as they can, because I have to pay them also. The next page, page 4 of our little package that would have been a handout today, was on our reserve fund balances. There's a lot of chatter again that goes on about how we spend all kinds of money and our dues go up when we do clubhouse remodels, or when we do improvements of the golf course, or when we do landscape improvements. The laws require that we have a reserve fund that's funded out of our monthly dues every month. And that is a savings account that's used to pay for the improvements that we do to the club. Over the past several years, we've done a number of improvements to the golf course with Desertscape. We've done improvements to the golf course with some of the improvements on the course. We've done improvements to the swimming pool area with the new surfaces and new furniture and everything. The reserve spending does not impact our dues. If we spend money on the reserves, it comes out of the bank. It's not a dues impactful thing. And we put a chart in that shows that over the last 6 years, our reserve fund balance has increased approximately it's a little over 30%, 33%. So in addition to keeping up with the club, we've been increasing our reserve fund balances, which is a good thing. The last thing that I put in, again, a brief thing, because there's a lot of changes in the CC&Rs and the bylaws that we're updating, and then additionally, the conditions just that we face at the club and that any business faces, is that our bad debt collection policies in the past have been relatively weak, and we've suffered from high delinquency rates from a lot of members that have just elected not to pay their dues. One of the things that the new bylaws and CC&R address is that it improves our legal standing. We're taking people to court that allow us to collect from non-payers. People that don't pay their dues here, we all have to pay for it, and it's funded out of our budget every year. And this year we had a substantial increase in our bad debt accrual to cover the expenses that we're fighting with the people that aren't paying their dues. It's approximately $7.75 of your monthly dues go to bad debt accrual. That's money to pay for the people that don't pay. And if we have a stronger legal position, it gives us a better position in court to collect the money that they owe us, that they owe you, and that in the future we'll hopefully be able to get that under control and reduce that amount of our dues. If you look at our receivables over the last, just over the last couple of years, from 2015 to 2019, we reduced the percentage of bad debts owed to the club by about 50%. And it's a big number. It's money that comes back in as cash that allows the club to operate. And it's a very important thing that we follow up on. Anyway, this report and all the detail on it will be published on all the club communication channels in the very near future. And it'll give everybody a chance to look at stuff. I included Brian's address and my address and Eddie's address. So after you look at it, if you've got questions about anything, please feel free to contact any of us, and we can provide additional information as available. With that, kind of said, the normal course of business for this month, I'd like to move that we approve checks over $1,000 from the operations and reserve accounts for February 2020.
Have a second, please.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Michael, move on, please.
Next, I'd move that we approve the finance and credit reports from February 2020.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion needed? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Lastly, I'd move that we consider RCA 2020-13 from clubhouse maintenance in an amount not to exceed $14,000 from the reserve fund to replace the mattresses, box springs, and pillows for the inn.
We have a second for that,
Second.
please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
And that concludes the financial section.
Michael, I would like to say that this report that you did for us and for the membership is very succinct, very good, easy to read, and gives a very nice picture of where we are right now. So I hope when we send it out that membership will have a chance to look at this and make comments, but thank you, it was nicely done. Let's see, Ray, we don't have anything on future planning?
No report.
Thank you. Tom, what do we have on golf committee?
Golf committee, their biggest project is the calendar that's almost complete, and they hope to have it to the board for the April meeting. The only other thing during their meeting is Rick Moore, our new head pro, is going to work with our player assistant. He's got his own program, and he will be working with that to get it going.
All right, thank you very much. That brings us down to the Green Committee. Mr. Doyle?
Yeah, the only ongoing issue, or not issue, project with the Green Committee is the upgrade on hole number 15. And where we stand on that is that we've had a lot of the engineering already completed. We've already ordered grass for that green. But like many of the projects at the club here, that's some of the upgrades we're going to do, some of the landscaping areas. Right now, most of those things are basically on a freeze until we see what's happening financially and with everything that's going on with the club, and just the social environment in general. So I think that there's no change in that. It's gonna be basically on hold for the next several months to see, where we end up, 2 months from now, or 30 days from now, or 6 months from now.
Okay. Health Committee, Trish?
Yes, the only thing I have is the Desertscape area on Augusta near trash receptacles. Brian, we have 2 bids,
We do.
and we're waiting for another
We're
one?
waiting for a third bid.
Okay. And then the other thing, Wendy Scott, the chair, requested to use Zoom for their meeting in April, which I think is a non-issue because we're not having any meetings in April.
Yeah, we've canceled all the committee meetings in April, with the exception of the Finance Committee, which is still trying to decide how we can move that one forward. Okay, down to member communications.
The only thing that we have right now is we will be sending out information on Constant Contact, and we can do that by email, and recommend that all members at Mission Lakes look at our social media to get what is going on day by day at Mission Lakes Country Club.
Okay, Neighborhood Watch.
Julie had nothing to report, and I have nothing from the COPS program at this time.
Okay, thank you very much. Tom, we're down to Pool and Rec.
All right, Pool and Rec. The biggest thing that they have is the ADA bathroom. That's kind of on hold, waiting on a topographical survey and a rendering that hopefully we'll get in the near future. I did read their minutes that I got today. They have formed a walking group, and it's going to be walk will be Sunday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 4 p.m. So if anybody's interested, they are to call Marie, 760-989-1190. That's it.
Okay, good for the walking group. On that topographical survey, we did get, the contractor did agree to sign our contract. I know that's gone a little slow, but we need that topographical engineering done before we can do anything else. And it's just kind of the way of the world right now. Everything is slowed down to a snail's pace, and we'll get it done when we can get it done. All right, with that, on to the manager's report. Ryan, would you let everybody know what's going on from your standpoint?
All right, so I kind of did my report, start with the February financials. I actually have the page numbers too, and that is loaded on the website if anybody would like to look. Through February, the club's $149,299 better than budget. Some key areas to note: food and beverage is $28,000 better than budget, and $57,000 better than last year, February. February event audits, which is located in your packet as well, page 16, it shows that the club was very successful in all the events that they ran at the club, and they ran at a profit of $5,881. Please review those information packet areas in your finance packet. There's a lot of information that you guys can see of the changes the club was going through and the positive track it was on before we embarked on this COVID-19. The management team is carefully managing expenses during these protocols, and we will share some of the metrics from our delivery program. We had some success with changing the phone system over, and I'll kind of go over the e-blast that went out yesterday. Let's see here. So I don't know if everybody got this on the e-blast. We posted it to the website, and it was on Facebook as well, but we had to come up with a virtual queue. Our owners here, when they wanted to use the takeout or the delivery we were offering, it was all coming at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. So there's 11 phone lines at Mission Lakes Country Club, so the virtual queue here holds 11 members while they're waiting. It does update you and tell you how far or how long it's going to be until one of our servers or one of our staff members picks up the phone. So we appreciate your patience as we're evolving into a delivery business. Last night was very successful. We did 47 orders. So we will have all those metrics for you in the finance packet next month, so you guys can see those results. Let's see here. As we know, on March 25th, we did have to close the golf course, and I do want to go over that language. Everybody probably saw that we had to close the golf course per the county. Golf course will remove pins and close the golf shop, since the golf shop are non-essential personnel. Our golf shop is closed now. This will include the practice facility as well. The golf maintenance is essential personnel and can still work to maintain the course. Members will probably continue to use the course as there's no enforcement to stop. And that's an important thing to think about. We still have golf course rules that have not been changed, and we do wish that if people do happen to go on the golf course, there's etiquette of play to be observed out there. So walking is still prohibited on the golf course. Dogs on the golf course are still prohibited. We can't control if a member wants to get in their cart and goes out on the golf course to play, and that's what the order says. Pools and hot tubs are closed. The Sand Wedge has been fairly busy as of late, so please take advantage of that. It's open 6:30 to 6 every day for takeout orders. Just call the Sand Wedge number and our staff's there to prepare the food for you, and it'll be ready and you can come pick it up. In these times, we know everybody's struggling with different items in the stores they can't find. We did a delivery program where we're trying to, first 10 orders where it was coming with some toilet paper. There's certain items you can't find at the store. Romo's doing a fantastic job of keeping our pantry up to date so we can satisfy the menu items of both the Sand Wedge and the dining room. He's also creating some economical meals for two. I saw some feedback, and more feedback you can give me, please send me emails. We're happy to do whatever you guys need us to do up here in this time of need.
Let me just say that I had those ribs the other night, I guess Thursday night, for two, $27 I think, and it was a great meal. It arrived hot, plenty of food, and everything worked like it was supposed to work. So thank you for that.
There's a tip on that. There's only six orders left for tonight, so at 5 o'clock, be first on the list for those.
Be a race because they are good. So if you want them, get them in early. Okay, down to old business, and that brings us to the topic of the arbitration with the CRMBC broker. And I would like to just go back and explain a little bit about this program and bring you up to date, because we had some good results with this, and for a change, Mission Lakes came out on top. So if we circle back to 2017, we started arbitration, actually we started litigation against the CRMBC, which was a comp program that we got involved in going back to 2010. And it was a poorly drafted program, and the board at that time was not properly advised that writing this program could result in assessments to our membership, which did occur. The first one occurred in 2012 in the tune of $34,000. And then in 2016, we got another for $75,000. And these assessments, the way this program was written, could go on for the next 25 years, because the program was upside down $85 million. And it meant that we had to contribute to pay for all these losses, even though they weren't ours. So we went to litigation, and we first sued the program itself, CRMBC. That took a year and a half, and last January 2019, we settled.
2020.
This is a new one coming up. That one, we settled with them for no money, but they did agree to no more assessments for our club. We were the only club to go after these people back then, and that fact has helped us not receive any more assessments. This year, we filed action against our insurance broker, Desert Empire Insurance, and CHSI, which was the facilitator for this program. And that has gone on for the last year and a half. And this past, where we at? We're in March. So March 7th, we went to arbitration in Los Angeles. The judge heard our case and ruled in favor of Mission Lakes. Both defendants paid us a total of $80,000 in return money, which we have received half of that settlement so far, and we'll receive the other 40,000 from the other one defendant shortly. So while this has been an arduous process, it is something that we needed to do. Some things are just not right, and the way that this was put upon Mission Lakes was not right. We prevailed. We were the only club, actually the only insured, that took these people on. So there's something to be said for that, you know, for the little guys. So I'm very happy about it, and we did get that money in the bank, so yay. Okay, on to new business. 2020 elections for the, you're on, I'm on, okay, 2020 elections for our bylaws and the general elections for board directors. The Inspector of Elections came up and met with Brian and myself last, I guess, a few days ago, and wanted to postpone our elections for 30 days because she's gotten a lot of comments from the election committee that they don't want to gather socially and count ballots and be exposed. And furthermore, we've had comments from a lot of the membership that says our town hall for the candidate forum should really be put off until we can gather socially and see our candidates speak in person and have a chance to ask questions. And we agreed with the Inspector of Elections. So the club has gone back to our attorney. The attorney is drafting a second ballot measure for both the bylaws and for the general election. So the date of these bylaws now is going to be postponed, at least to have them in, is going to be postponed until May 1st. The course of events are that we are going to resend ballots out to those members that have not responded with a ballot on Tuesday, I guess, correct?
Correct.
And they will be due back into our office by May the 1st. For those people that don't have a copy of the bylaws and CCNRs, you can let us know and we will email you another copy. Also, the count for those ballots will be held on May the 2nd at 1:30, and that will be held by our Inspector of Elections with the results to follow. Our general election has been postponed until June the 27th, with the candidate forum scheduled for May the 9th, and the mailing out of those ballots on May the 15th. We've just kind of put everything back 30 days because of this whole COVID-19 thing has affected our community, affected the world. So I think it's going to work out better this way and give us a chance to regroup. That's about all I have for that. So you want to go into the COVID-19, or you already touched on that, I think.
You touched on the order, yeah.
Well, given that, we have any lien delinquent? No?
Yeah.
Is there any other business that we need to attend to? Okay, with that then, it's 2:05. Call the meeting adjourned. Thank you very much. We'll go into executive.